Hello and welcome. You're watching UTV Live at 6.
Good evening. These are the headlines.
A man appears in court charged with the murder of Stephen Brannigan and the attempted murder of Father John Murray in Downpatrick.
2 men appear in court charged with offences linked to the shooting of DCI John Caldwell.
And Belfast International Airport promises change after UTV shares the stories of 2 women with stomas who were searched in security.
They're going to look at things like their search facilities, their toilet facilities, and kind of bring those up to a standard that's conducive to people who have stomas or other hidden disabilities.
Also tonight, food bloggers are everywhere on social media, and we're finding out how some bad reviews can harm trade.
And stargazing success as a meteor shower lights up the night sky.
And it's been another warm and sunny summer's day, but we have a change on the way. I'll have all of the details later in the programme.
A 30-year-old man has been remanded into custody, charged with the murder of a father of 2 and the attempted murder of a priest in Downpatrick.
Newtownards Magistrates Court was told that there was a very significant mental health context to the case. Here's our crime and security correspondent, Sharon O'Neill.
The shock at events that shattered a peaceful Sunday in Downpatrick is still raw. One man losing his life in this house in Marion Park, 56-year-old Stephen Brannigan, who was a father of 2, and what police have described as a brutal attack on a much-loved priest at St Patrick's Church, as Father John Murray was due to celebrate his last Mass before retiring. Hugh Malone, who's 30, now charged with both crimes, murder and attempted murder, at Newtownards Magistrates Court. The accused did not appear in the dock, instead by video link from Musgrave Police Station in Belfast. He spoke only when asked if he could hear and see the court. His response to that question, "I can indeed, ma'am." And he confirmed he understood the charges against him. Asked by his lawyer, a senior police officer said an appropriate adult was present during Hugh Malone's interview with police. This court told there will be a mental health context to this case moving forward. No details of what happened here were disclosed during this brief hearing. The senior officer, a detective chief inspector, said she could connect Hugh Malone to the charges. No application for bail was made, and the accused was remanded into custody to appear in court in Downpatrick next month. Sharon O'Neill, UTV Live.
2 men have been charged with offences linked to the attempted murder of DCI John Caldwell, and they have been remanded into custody. They're also accused of involvement in a failed attack on the high-profile officer just 1 week earlier at the same location near Omagh.
A total of 16 people have now been charged in connection with the murder bid. Our correspondent Gareth Wilkinson was in court.
A convoy with murderous intent. Detectives believe the latest suspects charged in connection with the attempt to kill John Caldwell can be connected to 2 Ford Fiesta cars captured in this CCTV footage. Inside, dissident gunmen on their way to attack the off-duty policeman. He was shot at a sports complex near Omagh, gunned down in front of his young son, where he trained a teenage football team. Despite his injuries, John Caldwell survived. That was over 2 years ago, and the investigation continues. Today, 2 men arrested earlier this week appeared before Dungannon Magistrates Court. 25-year-old Kevin Murphy from Aldone Park in Coal Island and 45-year-old father of 4 Liam Robinson from Ardstewart in Stewartstown were both charged with the preparation of terrorist attacks and with perverting the course of justice. Appearing via video link from Musgrave Police Station, both refused to respond when asked if they understood the charges. A detective sergeant told the court that the operation to kill DCI Caldwell was a joint venture between new IRA active service units in Belfast and in Tyrone. He said Robinson is accused of driving Murphy to Belfast as part of a plan to collect the 2 Ford Fiestas before the attack, and he said both men can be linked to vehicles used in an aborted attack on John Caldwell in Omagh just weeks before. Both men are also accused of helping to destroy vehicles after the attack. One of the Fiestas was burnt out close by, the other was discovered in Arboe. The prosecution said this case is complex and circumstantial. Sergeant was cross-examined by Murphy's solicitor. It emerged that no cartridge residue from a firearm was ever detected on clothing seized from the accused home. There is no DNA or CCTV evidence linking him to the scene of the attack, and there's no surveillance footage of him getting into a vehicle connected with the murder bid. The officer also accepted that Liam Robinson was in Coal Island at the time of the attack in Omagh. But the district judge said he believes both men can be connected to the charges. A bail application for Robinson was rejected. Murphy is expected to make one next week. Both were remanded into custody. Gareth Wilkinson, UTV Live, Dungannon.
Last month, we brought you a number of stories about passengers who wear stoma bags who said they faced humiliation and embarrassment going through security at Belfast International Airport.
Now, bosses at the airport have met with those affected and have said that they're taking steps to prevent it from happening again. Barbara McCann reports.
To ask somebody to expose themselves, their bottom half alone, never mind the stoma, it really is dreadful.
I had to lift my dress. I knew I wasn't going to fly unless I lifted my dress. So I was so distraught. I cried for the entire... I didn't even know if I was going to be able to get on the plane.
Rhonda O'Neill and Claire McCorry talking previously to UTV about their humiliating experience going through security here at Belfast International Airport. Both were stomas as a result of a medical procedure. There are many more like them, and MP Carla Lockhart, who has a relative with an ostomy bag, has raised the issue on their behalf.
So I had requested a meeting, a high-level meeting with Wilson James, who are their security contractors, and the chief executive from the airport was there as well. And I felt that showed the level of seriousness of which they were taking. So I would commend the airport for that. I would say it was a positive meeting. I would say it was robust and quite informative in terms of what they are doing and what they're trying to do to improve the situation.
Claire was also at the meeting to give a first-hand account of her undignified treatment.
It's nice to be listened to, and hopefully they will learn from not just my experience, but from the experience of the other passengers who've come forward, certainly both through UTV. This is not about being above the law. It's not about that at all. And we are all totally mindful that airport security is really important. And also airport personnel have a job to do.
Every airport operates within their own standard operating procedures. For me, it's just ensuring that people with disabilities, particularly hidden, aren't discriminated against. And we need to make that experience not where people are saying I was embarrassed or humiliated.
In a statement, the airport said, whilst our current process is compliant, we are thankful for the feedback which will allow us to continue our discussions with the regulator to further develop those processes to ensure all passenger needs are accommodated. As this is an issue for all airports, not just Belfast International, we have raised this with Airports UK and the CAA, and we hope to be able to continue working on the issue with Carla and Claire. Claire is hoping that it will be the end of the humiliation for anyone with a hidden disability going through security.
Hopefully we'll get some kind of consistency and just where we're treated humanely, for want of a better turn of phrase, and with dignity and respect and compassion.
Barbara McCann, UTV Live.
A County Antrim man living with prostate cancer has joined a national charity which is calling for updated guidelines on how the disease is monitored for some patients.
I've been speaking to Michael McLean about his experience and why he believes changes are needed to prevent men undergoing potentially unnecessary overtreatment of their condition. Michael McLean was diagnosed with prostate cancer during lockdown, aged 50. He'd been on high alert, having lost his dad to the disease. Michael's condition is managed with regular monitoring. Explain to anyone who doesn't know about active surveillance what that process is.
Well, active surveillance is essentially what they do is they do a PSA test, which stands for prostate specific antigen, and that locates a particular level of that within your blood. Once they find that, they can see whether the level fluctuates or changes in time, and if they have enough of these in a regular timeline, then they can work out how advanced the cancer is going, how slow it is, how aggressive it is, and then they can work out your treatment in the future.
So it's not particularly invasive?
Not invasive at all. It's just a simple blood test. For example, I would go to the phlebotomy clinic once every couple of months, get a quick jab, and I'm on my way in 5 minutes.
Michael is supporting a call by Prostate Cancer UK for National Institute for Health and Care Excellence, or NICE, guidelines on surveillance to be updated to ensure there's consistency and potentially reduce the number of men undergoing what could be unnecessary over-treatment of their cancer.
Not everything is equal, unfortunately. The care that I have received myself in Belfast City Hospital has been phenomenal. I know exactly what they're doing at any time. I can talk to anybody at any time. I can see my progress by talking to the urologist at any time I want to. But it's not the same for everyone or for every part of the UK. So they're calling for the NICE guidelines to be updated. So basically they can put prostate cancer in its place. There's no need for aggressive treatment too early. Whenever you can see that the slow progression, you can live quite normally with prostate cancer until treatment is needed.
NICE has told us it works to ensure guidelines reflect best evidence and outcomes for patients. It said prostate cancer guidance is being updated, including a review of recommendations around active surveillance. It is the biggest cancer for men now in the UK. Are men still squeamish? Are people still a wee bit embarrassed about prostate cancer?
Definitely. I thought it was just my father's generation that would bury their head in the sand and be a man's man and not talk about these things. But it's not. There's men older than I am and there's men younger than me, and they do not want to talk about these things. Whether it's testicular cancer or prostate cancer, they're worried about going to the GP, they're worried about what kind of invasive examinations, and there's nothing wrong with a bit of embarrassment if it's going to save your life.
Medical consultants in Northern Ireland are to re-enter a dispute with the Department of Health and with health service employers in response to this year's recommended pay uplift for doctors. The BMA is willing to engage with the department on resolving this issue, but warned that if consultants decide that a pay uplift of 4% is not enough, then they will have to ballot for industrial action. The BMA says they will now move to gather the views of consultants.
Take a look at social media and you'll see influencers reviewing cafes, restaurants and food trucks all across Northern Ireland, whilst these so-called food vloggers can bring a huge boost to those in the hospitality industry. Some are warning that negative reviews can damage trade.
And now a survey for UTV, which was carried out by a trade body representing food outlets, has also found that there are concerns among business owners that some influencers are not properly marking their content as advertisements. Jordan Moore reports.
Is this the best cinnamon roll going? Let's find out.
These are the best mozzarella sticks I have ever had.
Can you believe that you can get these gorgeous pastries in East Belfast?
Food influencers are everywhere, and while most businesses are quick to praise their impact, what happens when it doesn't go to plan and the review is a little overcooked?
There you are, mate. Thank you, night.
Brown's Fish and Chips have operated an award-winning food van in Riders Square since 2022, but that title was challenged by this reviewer.
Belfast city centre is a fish and chip van. Disappointing. When I saw the sign for award-winning on the back, I thought we could have uncovered something really special today, but instead...
Food Review Club has more than 1 million followers across its social media platforms, and its impact is clear to see.
There will now be a portion of the public who have a negative opinion of our business without ever having tried it. Now, it would be very difficult for me to say today, in terms of a figure, how much revenue we'll lose for this, but we can absolutely guarantee that there will be people who see that review and decide to never try our business.
UTV did approach Food Review Club for comment, but did not receive any reply. Streets like this in Belfast thrive on small businesses, and while negative reviews can affect their business, there's also another issue involved. Influencers are asking for money to review businesses, something this Londonderry pizza shop owner is shutting the door on.
Try the food, give me an honest opinion, but for me to pay you to give me a good review is insane. You're chatting between £500 to £2,000 that some of the people have asked for, and like small business can't even afford that now. I've had some really good influencers on here that have come down, they've ate the food, they've bought the food, and I haven't even known they've been here, and that's what it should be about.
While asking for money to review food is legal, many influencers are failing to label their content as an advert, which is illegal, and something the Advertising Standards Authority has told UTV they're looking into. A survey carried out by the Food to Go Association for UTV found 40% of businesses surveyed had paid for a review, and 80% said influencers had a positive impact.
We don't like to see small businesses having to pay some extraordinary money to get content from influencers, because right now the cost of doing business in Northern Ireland is crippling small business as it is. We do understand the positive of food influencers, and we as an association fully back the food influencers.
Food influencers are going nowhere, but how they are regulated is very much up for debate. Jordan Moore, UTV Live.
And you can get more of a flavour of Jordan's report on our streaming platform ITVX. There you can also catch up on the latest UTV Live at 6 and all of our programmes, including Behind the Screens, which looks at the lives of some of Northern Ireland's top influencers.
Well, it's time now to look at the headlines, which are making tonight's ITV news at 6:30.
Yes, with the details, here's Mary Nightingale.
Coming up on tonight's ITV Evening News, police forces are to share suspects' ethnicity and nationality, and not everyone's in favour. We'll have reaction. The European wildfires forcing thousands to flee their homes. And why this branding is simply not cricket. Do join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Sport now, and after narrowly missing out to Shelbourne in the Champions League qualifiers, Linfield could meet the League of Ireland champions again in a playoff for the Conference League group stage.
First, though, they must overcome the Faroe Island side, Vikingar, tomorrow night at Windsor Park. David Healy's side trailed 2-1 from last week's away leg. Here's our sports correspondent, Ruth Gorman.
Linfield narrowly lost to Shelbourne in their first European tie of the summer, but may get the chance to right some wrongs if the two sides meet again. Despite attending the match at Tulka Park last night to watch Shelbourne, manager David Healy wasn't getting drawn into what-ifs.
Listen, it'd be great if it ever happened for any League of Ireland team or team in our league. It'd be brilliant if that happened.
Scottish striker Kieran Offord scored 2 weeks ago here at Windsor Park against Salgariz, and he followed that up with a hat-trick last weekend against Dungannon.
I think we've always been the top goal scorers in the league, the majority of times. But it's always fascinating the speculation to say, is Kyle McLean going to get 12 goals and Mulgrew's going to get 6, and that's going to be the equivalent of somebody who's maybe left. So fascinates me at times.
Away from tomorrow's match, former Linfield player Trey Hume has been linked with a move to German side Wolfsburg, but it's believed Sunderland will reject their £10 million bid.
We thought he was brilliant in and around this football club. I know the Sunderland fans think so much of Trey, the potential that he still has, so getting promoted this year will obviously help build his profile a little bit more. He's been captain of the Northern Ireland setup. It shows you when you've only been in a few years how highly rated you are. He's a wonderful advertisement for younger players who play in our league, who will eventually, if they're patient enough and good enough, be given the opportunity to play for a brilliant club the size of Sunderland.
Healy's own transfer business is something he keeps close to his chest. But if Linfield were to qualify for the Conference League group stage, it would certainly provide more finance if he were to add to his squad.
If things are looking a little bit better in and around this period, then it would be something that would be looking to add, and that'll continue even if we don't add anybody in the next couple of weeks. We'll continue the process for January.
The Blues aren't taking their Faroese opponents lightly though, with Healy insisting standards at the club are higher than ever.
We had basically the saying in and around that if you coast at Linfield or if you coast your way through a year, you'll coast your way out of the football club, and we don't do coastal.
So a mouth-watering clash between an Irish League side and a League of Ireland side could be on the cards, but one thing's for sure, no one here is getting carried away. Ruth Gorman, UTV Live, Windsor Park.
Now, last night, you might remember, we mentioned that there was a chance you could see a meteor shower in the night sky. Well, there was a full moon, so it made it a little bit difficult to see the fast-moving meteors.
But some intrepid stargazers managed to see the nighttime spectacular. Louise Small has been finding out more.
A celestial celebration featuring a stellar cast of thousands. However, many of those involved unfortunately remained behind the scenes last night. Photographer Martin McKenna captured these images while the Perseid meteor shower lit up the night sky. But the glare from the moon decided to spoil the party for some.
Naturally, when you have a full moon, it's quite a striking source of natural light pollution. It drowns out all the fainter stars, and if you're watching a meteor shower, a lot of those shooting stars tend to be quite faint, and the moon will hence wash them out from the sky, which in essence will lower your meteor count during the course of a night. So naturally that impacts things in a big way.
As seen here in pictures sent in by our UTV viewers, keen eyes were still able to spot some meteors. But what are they, and why are there more of them at the minute?
When the comet leaves behind a pile of this rock and dust, that's whenever we have a meteor shower.
Kieran Neeson, a tour guide at the Dark Sky Observatory in the Sperrins, explains.
If you're making a snowman in winter, you're rolling a big snowball, and as you're doing it, there's loads of rocks and dust and things attaching to it. So if they imagine that that's what a comet is like. So the cause of this meteor shower is a Swift-Tuttle comet, and it can pass through our solar system. Well, it does, it's on a continuous orbit, and as it left behind a big pile of all these rocks and dust, then our Earth goes through that exact same pile of dust and rubble and things at exactly the same time every year.
And while viewing conditions may not have been the best, Martin has some advice for anyone inspired to go stargazing.
Block the moon itself, and that will actually make observing far more comfortable. I would recommend getting dark adapted, which is very important. Stay away from mobile phones or go onto your computer or your television, and just get adjusted to the night sky for about 15-20 minutes with the naked eye, and that way you're finely tuned to observing these meteors. And most important of all, just relax, be patient, let nature do its thing.
So it turns out there's more to it than just looking up, although it's a very good start.
Well, she's one of our brightest stars. Louise joins us live now from Lady Dixon Park.
Louise, I was lucky enough to see some of them last night. What are the chances that we might be able to see them again tonight?
Well, the peak was last night, but there is still a chance of seeing them up until the 24th of August, albeit with good conditions. As you heard Martin say, they're stay away from street lights and try and avoid moonlight because it can scupper your chances, but there is still a slight chance if you are a keen stargazer. We have had some very hot days recently, 25 degrees on Monday, almost 28 yesterday and 28 today. Temperatures in Derry Lynn and County Fermanagh actually have had an isolated heat wave as we've had 25 degrees and over for the past 3 days. But with the sunshine, unfortunately, comes the rain, and we have a thunderstorm warning in place from midnight tonight affecting all of Northern Ireland. It stays in place right through until 10 o'clock tomorrow night. Now, not everywhere will see the thundery downpours. We have between 20 and 30 millimetres of rainfall, 40 millimetres of rainfall possible in the heaviest downpours, with the risk of some hail, thunder and lightning as well. But as I said, the showers will be hit and miss. It could lead to some surface water on the road, so if you're travelling overnight tonight or into tomorrow, do take care. Temperatures, though, will start to rise again as we head towards the weekend. Something slightly more settled coming our way. Here is the very latest forecast.
Bringing the warm sunshine outside, inside. UTV weather. Sponsored by the Grant Arona R290 heat pump.
So we had plenty of warm and sunny spells through today. The perfect summer's day for some. However, we have a change on the way overnight tonight. We have a yellow warning for thunderstorms coming into force at midnight. Stay with us right through until 10 o'clock tomorrow night. 20 to 40 millimetres of rainfall expected in the heaviest showers. We could have some hail, thunder and lightning mixed in with that, leading to some surface water on the road. So if you are travelling, do take care. Now, it's all down to a low pressure system. It's moving through overnight tonight and into tomorrow, bringing more in the way of cloud and those heavy thundery downpours of rain. But high pressure starts to return and build in as we head towards the weekend, settling things back down again with some bright and sunny spells. However, that high will also bring some cloud around coastal areas. Tonight we have a few late spells of sunshine, feeling very pleasantly warm at the minute. It will become quite muggy and humid overnight. We have some low cloud forming with some hill fog in places. We have those thundery showers starting to edge in across eastern areas through the early hours. Some heavy thundery downpours expected there, which could lead to some surface water as we head towards rush hour tomorrow. Temperatures overnight holding up around 13 to 15 degrees Celsius. So a muggy, cloudy, murky start tomorrow. Thundery showers pushing through for a time tomorrow, but a lot of places will stay relatively dry. We'll have some brighter breaks, but more in the way of cloud tomorrow, a duller day than it was today. And temperatures down a few degrees as well, highs of just 23 degrees Celsius with light winds. But in the heaviest showers, the winds will pick up for a short period of time. Across the rest of Ireland, plenty of bright and sunny spells. Some cloud developing through the afternoon with a few thundery downpours as well. Temperatures reaching highs of around 24 or 25 degrees Celsius with light winds. Looking ahead towards the weekend, it will settle down with some bright and sunny spells at times and the slight chance of the odd shower. That's very latest. Bye-bye.
UTV weather, sponsored by the Grande Rona R290 heat pump.
Now, just before we go, a chance to remind you about a new series which you can see on UTV tonight.
Yes, I think you and I will enjoy this, Rose. The Auctioneers goes behind the scenes with a century of deals, dramas and items you'll never expect. Here's a flavour of what's in store.
Weekly auction every Thursday morning, 10 a.m. The weekly auction commences, and I absolutely love it. It's one of the best days of the week for me. Say with the big vase there, 50-40. I do about a couple of hundred lots an hour, so it's only 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. But honestly, it's as much fun as I can get in a week.
Oh, it's lovely.
Isn't it nice?
It does have the box as well, and the papers, so... I feel at auction it has to be competitively priced.
Yeah.
1,500 to 3,500.
Yeah, and I think starting at a good price too will get a lot of interest in it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, looks very interesting, and you can tune into that at 10:45 here on UTV. Now, Aidan Brown will be back with your late news. That's at around 10:30.
Well, the time now is nearly 6:30, so the ITV Evening News continues with Mary Nightingale. From Paul and me and the whole team, have a good evening.
Good evening.